you love Chevys, then this is the place for you. This is the Menards Chevy series, where we tour the country to find the finest race cars and rides that are part of the bowtie breed.
If it happens in a great place, if it involves engines and wheels, then sometimes you never know what to expect. Hello again, everyone. I'm Griff Allen. Welcome to Texas Motorplex in Ennis, Texas, where if you pay attention to history of this Billy Meyer track, you know that in 2004, that's when stadium seating was first invented here. Other tracks followed. Go back to '99. A guy named Tony Schumacher got his first national win here. He went on to win the championship that year. You go back a little further, a guy named Eddie Hill broke the 5-second barrier. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to focus on the stars of the car show. Let's get started. When you see these, they usually are Fords, but nope, this is a Chevrolet.
Well, everybody's got a 34 Ford. Nobody's got a 34 Chevrolet. I found this at a cruise in Bell Mead in Waco, Texas. Yeah, I had it for sale, and I just sort of jumped on it.
What were some of the features that really pushed you over the edge and said, that's the one?
Well, the overall look of it, the paint, being the two-tone and the black and silver, with all the modern conventions, disc brakes, air conditioning, power windows. It has a 350 that has a little high-performance cam in it with Edelbrock carburetor, full barrel. One
thing that caught my eye was the red pinstriping is accented very uniquely by red trim on the inside of the rims.
That's true. I thought that would bring out the pinstriping, and I've got a lot of comments on it from folks that are looking at the car that like that look.
You drive it, you show it, what else do you do?
Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off.
Time now to take a look at our Duracell Copper Top Award winner.
Duracell Copper Top Award winner this week poses an interesting question. Is why are we looking at a pace car paint scheme on a coupe when in '69 with the Camaros it was only available on a convertible? Well, the answer is Z10. That is what Harvey brought here this weekend with an interesting story about a connection between the original purchase of this car and the reconnection with the dealership where it was originally sold.
Yeah, I found out the NCRA had documentations for 67 through 72 Camaros, Chevelle, and Novas, and you send them $50 and your VIN number, and they'll send you back the day the car was built and the dealer it was sold at. So I did that. And I found out my car was sold in Memphis, Tennessee. First dealer I contacted was only in business since '84, so that did not work. Second one I contacted, the lady answered the phone, told her who I was and what I wanted. She said, oh my God, I've been working here 45 years. I remember the car. We've had it on the showroom floor. We had orange and white balloons and streamers. The other dealers came around and looked at the car. We had a lady with a houndstooth jacket, got black and white houndstooth interior that matched, and took pictures of the car. So it was just awesome that she answered the phone and I got to talk to her. So we're leaving Monday, going up there, and they're going to let us put us on the showroom floor and take pictures of the car. And Becky is going to be there, and hopefully get to take pictures with her too.
One thing you gotta love about any car is its history, from its birth through its life, through the awards that it wins and the attention that it gets, like the Duracell Copper Top Award. Very proud for Harvey to be able to get that done this weekend, and all the fun along the way, all the years restoring it and driving it, and complete with love notes from the San Antonio police reminding you that you've been a bad boy.
The sweet spot's about 85 in it. I get an open road, and that's where I run at. So
Copper top reliability, keeping the cranks coming. The comfort comes from Vintage Air, the aftermarket air conditioning, and then started out as a 396, now a 427. Lots of smiles, lots of happy, in a package that goes fast and shows well. A very clean under-the-hood job here from Harvey. One more thing that the enthusiast is going to note is the SS-RS combination. Of course, you can't have a Camaro without great-looking throwback wheels. But if you look up front, you notice the hideaway headlights as well as the RS configuration. And again, that paint scheme that was limited in production to fewer than 500 machines that were sold in '69 in a path through the country from Wisconsin down through Oklahoma and Texas. Another rarity of the Z10.
Stay with us for more of the Menards Chevy series, because when we return, we'll show you a knockout Nova packing 700 horses. This episode of the Menards Chevy series is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Race Gas, get more out of your engine.
Welcome back. We're in Ennis, Texas. Texas, I said, where everything is bigger and better. Now, once you get bigger and the best there is, and that's still not good enough, what do? You go Texan. You make it even bigger and better. And Ricky, even though you had massive power under the hood, it still wasn't enough. What'd you do?
We bought the car. It had a big block in it. We pulled the big block out, went down and purchased a Hennessy LS3 engine for it and installed that into the car. 710 horsepower. Oh, I like going fast.
What made you buy this car? Is there something behind where you first found it?
When these cars first came out, I'd always wanted one, couldn't afford it. When I had the opportunity, I found this on the internet. I went to Miami and bought it. The interior is all ultra leather. I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, even the inside of the trunk is done in ultra leather. So.
Carbon fiber look to the hood, although it's not.
Right. When I got the car from Eddie, the hood was painted satin black, and I thought about having it painted satin, the color of the car. But I looked at a few cars, like an Audi R8, the new ones, and they've got carbon fiber hoods and deck lids. And a friend of mine told me that they do this stuff, so I took it over to Dallas to 360 Wraps, and they wrapped the hood in 3D carbon fiber, which really made the car look pretty good. The valve cover actually does contain oil, the bottom half of it, but that the coils bolt to. But we chose these valve covers because they make the engine look more retro instead of new style.
Apparently you chopped it and you went down. You took it down a little bit. Is it just a lowered suspension or hydraulic?
No, the car the top's been chopped 1 7/8 inches, and it's a chassis car, so that you don't have to bag it. This is actual ride height. You don't have to raise it or lower it. That's the way it rides.
Now, when you think of the customization level of this machine, how much of a showstopper it is, don't think that's the do-all and end-all. Don't think the bigger is always better in Texas. Stock machines, we're going to find out a little later, can still be showstoppers.
Time now for this week's Rock Auto Restored Award.
If you're a fan of the Chevy Camaros from the late 70s like I am, then I've got a treat for you. In the RockAuto.com Restored Award, Bob McQuinn really brings it with this 1979 Camaro. Now, I, like many people, had one of these back then, but mine didn't have anywhere near clean a front fascia or great detail. This car is the beneficiary of lots of years of loving care and restoration.
Finally, these cars are starting to gain a little bit of notoriety now that they're getting to this age, and they're making aftermarket parts for it, finally. The front and rear fascias on this car are actually fiberglass reproductions, which solves the problem of the funky urethane waving and just cracking, and these should stay pretty straight and remain true. It's got an LS1 crate motor. We did a little bit to it, not a lot. We put a BBK intake and throttle body on it. It's made it up to a 4L60 transmission, and all of that funnels back to a Ford 9-inch rear end, so there's a lot of power for the little car. It's probably 3 times as much as it came from stock.
You're an award winner this weekend. Tell me what importance that has to you.
A lot. Rock Auto was a great partner. I used them for my other vehicles, so it was a no-brainer to turn to them when putting this car together also.
One thing that makes a show car a winner is theming, the ability to connect the interior and exterior. Case in point are the seats. You can see the upgrade rework with the bolstering, the nice gray leather with the suede, but take a look at the red stitching that is connected to the exterior paint. You can see that the dash, original, but the gauges upgraded. And then if you look over at the B&M shifter, it very brightly sets it all off. Okay, what's next for you in the car?
For this car, it's to drive it. I built it so I can drive it and enjoy it.
You remember when I said that a stock look could be a showstopper? Well, here it is. Bob Bennett's 66 Nova. You can see that the paint has been redone, but a nice, clean, conservative look. And when you look back at the rear wheels, you're right, they didn't make 17s back then. These are custom. Went from a leaf spring to a coil-over rear end. Other than that, the back end is pretty much factory. So beautiful example of a postcard here that carries the color to the inside. No change in that. Moving forward to stuff that really does matter, that we really do love. That's the power end of things. You're right. A big block did not come out of the factory here from Chevrolet in the 60s. That was an addition that Bob made. In addition to an entire front end. It's a bolt-on. If you look very closely, you can see that it supports the power, it supports the weight, and it also gives the option to change the front suspension here. Additionally, we've gone from the drum brakes up at the front, which had absolutely no stopping power, pretty close to no stopping power. Now we've got disc brakes up front, so we got a lot more confidence. But still, we're going back old school with the dual channel, no vacuum braking system. That's factory. He's kept that conservative, that factory look, made it a showstopper. Now, if you're jealous, here's the solution. It only takes $35,000. If you haven't had enough, stay put, because we'll be back right after the break with more. Welcome back to Ennis, Texas, and Wayne just wanted to put this truck back together in a simple fashion when he first got it, but your wife of 62 years went to a car show, and when she came back, she said what?
She wanted to build a show truck out of it.
Did she know what she was asking for?
No, I didn't tell her everything.
So when did you unravel that ball of yarn? How'd that go?
I never did. I still haven't told her everything.
This weekend, you won Best Craftsmanship, Best Workmanship, if I'm not mistaken?
Workmanship.
Now, the bed here, it's white oak, not always easy to work with, but apparently you'll be able to work some magic.
Oh, yeah, it took 6 weeks to finish it. You let the finish dry on it, because if you don't, when you sand it, you streak it.
Does the bottom look as good as the top?
It's exactly the same. It's got 11 coats on the top, 11 coats on the bottom.
Under the hood, you open it up, and the first thing that people say is, wow. Where did that motor come from?
I built it. It's just a junkyard motor and been built into a 350, and I put it in here, and it's got a little chrome on it.
So looking back to when she said, why don't we build a show truck, does she have any regrets?
I think she has some, but she won't tell me exactly.
One thing about customization is individualization, and quilting is one of the best forms of individualization. And you see that here in the quilted armrest cover, the quilted dash cover, and this was done by his wife of 51 years, Sue. They met at the racetrack, and sure, they raced together, and he used to beat her, but then again, she got faster. She beat him. He put a stop to that. He married her.
I traded a 1929 Model A for it. Well, that's because he wanted to trade, and I could see I was getting a better deal. And I hope he doesn't see this, but I could see I was getting a better deal. It's already got the V8 in it. It's already got the suspension. It's got a Mustang 2 set up with 2-inch drop spindles. It was professionally done and wired. And honestly, I tried to talk him out of it for about an hour, and finally he said, "You going to trade with me or not?" I went, "Okay." So we traded and made the deal.
Now let's check out the original Parts Group Award winner.
If I say to you Chevrolet A-body, a lot of people naturally think Chevelle. However, don't overlook the Monte Carlo, also serviced by Original Parts Group Incorporated, which makes it eligible for the OPGI Original Award. So as an award winner here, you've got a lot to be proud of, not just for yourself, but also a lot of other people, young people that had a hand in restoring this older machine.
Yes, I do. I've been working on this car for about 10 years, and it's been a long process, but over the last 10 years at the high school, a couple dozen a year that's had a role in helping with it, and just a little at a time we've gotten to work on it.
How extensive was the restoration? What exactly was involved?
Took it back down to metal, performed all the major body work, removed the vinyl top, repaired the rust that it had, and then replacing the rubber products and everything with OBG products. As well as doing with the engine and transmission, we've completely redone the suspension, front and rear, transmission, engine, cooling system. We're working on the air conditioning system right now, as well as some other things that we're trying to get accomplished with the car as well.
The color's pretty loud, it screams, you can't miss it. How was this decision made?
It's a lemon yellow, House of Colors over white, white base, and it brightens up the room. It's extremely bright, yes. The top engine cover was actually handmade by one of our former students. She actually hand formed it on an English wheel and worked it with a leather bag and a hammer and created that for me. It's pretty neat to have that done.
An OPG Original Award winner this weekend. Congratulations. Keep on having fun with it.
We really appreciate this. This is awesome.
Other great machinery, more fun, and other bigger and better from Texas is what we're about right after this break.
This episode of the Menards Chevy series is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it. Welcome back to the Menards Chevy series, coming to you this week from the Texas Motorplex outside Dallas and Fort Worth. At every stop on the Menards tour, we see an impressive array of Chevy vehicles in all styles and sizes. The Menards Chevy Show has Texas-sized fun for everyone, as Motorplex General Manager Gabriel Stevenson explains.
We have so much going on. We've got a make and take area for the kids where they get to make models. Revell provides us and they're free. And so they go home and we have all the next generation of kids get to see car show, they see racing, they see pro mod shootout action, and everything is just one culminating in one amazing event for all these people who take great care of their classic cars and their brand new cars. We've been here for 29 years and we've been showing off the best in car shows, racing, and anything for family entertainment. We're here year-round and we offer just phenomenal entertainment for every family.
Our final award is from Minties, available at Menards, along with other fine True Science products.
When it comes to a Minties Top Dog Award, boy did we bring a showstopper. Blake here brought this Nomad, this Bel Air 55, and I gotta ask you what a new school guy is doing with an old school ride.
They make the cars better back then. Style, lines, everything just looks so much better.
And let's start with the engine there.
Went with a LS7, 4-speed automatic, and custom Mark Morrison chassis, just to give it that new school ride with the old school look.
And speaking of looks, you did the metal work there, welding together 2 cowls, and you cleaned it up, covering the oil fill. Lots of work and dedication, and a great look there under the hood. Congratulations. The interior, very impressive as well. Those seats,
yeah, they're out of a 06 Pontiac GTO, and then we sectioned them down 3 inches just to give it a cleaner look.
a great balance of art and technology. The fuel door, totally Terminator. How'd you do that?
Basically just retrofitted a custom actuator in there and tried to make it work as smooth as possible.
And that's what we do, is we make things work. Drum brakes out of the factory, drum brakes today, you kept them because why?
They overall give a better pedal feel, and to me, they stop better than the disc on the rear. That's just my personal opinion, and then went with a SoCal drum simulator to give it the old school look.
So you took it up a notch as far as the wheel and tire package goes. Did you have to do any finessing there with the chassis to make it fit?
Yeah, we did a mini tub kit, like I said, just to push in the inner fender all the way to the frame. That way we had clearance for a 12-inch tire.
All right, then, in this side, we can get a good look at the interior, which really does look warm and comfortable. I like that monochromatic look.
Push-button shifter, like I said, analog gauges with all the idiot lights, all the modern stuff that the new cars come with.
All right, so as you walk back to the front of the machine here, Tell me, as you're driving this machine, what kind of reaction it gets from people.
I've never seen the back of so many cell phones in my entire life. I mean, you don't see the people. All you do is see the back of their phone.
I would never do you the injustice of denying you a vet. I found one, a clean one, a 61, original looking, stock looking, but the story behind this is how it was got. It also was got in a straight even trade. Let's see if you agree with the fairness of this one.
I went to look at the car. It was in 1969. I had a 1964 Impala. I asked the guy why he wanted to sell a Corvette. He said his wife was pregnant and they needed a bigger car. So I took him and his wife outside and they looked at the Impala and we wound up trading straight across.
Were the cars worth the same amount at the time?
They were worth about $2,000 each. That would have been in '69. So it was an even trade.
Back then.
Back then.
But today?
I came out ahead on the deal. The motor's been bored out, got some roller rockers on it, good set of heads, a little bit higher compression. Other than that, it's stock. So I do some autocrossing at Good Guys events and Corvette Club events. I do well, I don't win, but I have fun.
It's a beautiful machine to put at risk.
I'm okay with that. It doesn't matter. You have fun with it. That's what they're for.
So the truth comes out. Even though it looks stock, we find out that it's not. And even though it looks sedate, and Danny says that maybe he drove it sedately, we found out that he was able to autocross this and have a lot of fun over the years and really use this car for what it was made for. We found out that he went to car shows. He showed and he won. We found out that he went to the quarter mile. He dragged this machine and he won. Danny did what he was supposed to do. He was able to prove that these machines are living, breathing examples of what really fuels us and brings us alive. We hope that you enjoyed the last 30 minutes where we showcased a lot of that. We hope that next week you join us same time and that you bring a friend along so that we can have more great times together. Until then.